Hey everyone, my name is Matt. Welcome to my shop. Today is June 14th and this is my weekly shop update. So I've been up to a bunch of things this week. I guess the two primary things going on this week. Outside I've been working on the trailer and in here I've been working on cutting boards. Let me show you what I've done with the trailer so far and then we'll get into some other stuff here in the shop. So up on the arch where I mounted the shackles, I basically wrapped the entire bar in 3/8 inch steel and then I have the shackles mounted to that. I tested the mounts out already. I tried to pick up this log here, which is 5,000 pounds. It's a really simple lift for it because it's not being pulled, so it's just a static load on the shackles. But then, the next day, I went and I picked up this guy. This is not as long. This is probably about 4,000 pounds. It's another silver maple crotch. Got some burls. Pretty cool piece of wood, but as far as weight goes, not heavy or not as big as that. The biggest thing this thing's ever picked up, but this is physically the biggest thing it's ever picked up. So I had a very interesting time trying to get this thing through the arch and lifting it because it's not balanced at all. All the weight is at the front. So this is a very frustrating thing for me to get on the trailer, but it did work out. I was able to get it onto the trailer and get it back here after a lot of work. So if you follow me on Instagram, you already saw this clip of this log being loaded. After an hour and a half, I finally got it onto the trailer and through the arch. I had to trim it a few times. I was trying to keep it as whole as possible so I have more options for it in the future, but some areas have to get cut. So this thing was at pretty much the maximum width of the arch and also the maximum height of the arch. The maximum width on the arch is a little over 5 feet and the maximum height is about 6 feet. Now getting off the trailer wasn't super difficult. I've been using the winch to push the logs off the trailer lately and I really like that method. It's really controlled and it gives you the flexibility to put these logs exactly where you want them and without much issue. It works out really well. All I have to do is run the cable around the log and anchor it to both back corners of the trailer, and then when the winch pulls, the log gets pushed off the trailer. It works out really, really well. The other thing I did is I added a couple of shackle mounts to the front of the trailer, one on this side and one on that side. I put them where the tongue meets the deck because I figured that was the strongest part, and I wanted to extend them off the bed of the trailer a little bit so I don't have the mounts up here on the trailer and lose a lot of space. So I put them back a little bit using a little bit of C-channel just to extend the bed a little bit this way. It gives me an extra 2 inches. But yeah. This would be really handy for when I'm doubling the line back with a snatch block. The cable runs from the winch out to a pulley at the arch and then back to an anchor point on either the left or the right. Whatever side works. And of course, if I need it, I have some more options here for tying things down. I have a stake pockets here, but now I can hook things in here, or I can use a shackle to actually chain things down to the trailer if I need to. So I still have a few small improvements for the trailer left to go, and I'm hoping to get those done this week, but we'll see. It's been kind of fun just to be out there, just working out in the driveway, doing a little metal work. It's nice to be outside, that's for sure. Now in the shop this week, I've been cleaning, and that means making cutting boards. So I made a few of these. If you recall from last week, I was gluing up scraps, well, I guess some scraps too. Scraps and the old trim from the room that I replaced the trim in, and all the scraps from making the trim into cutting board blanks. So this week I got them all milled up and glued up into cutting boards. I have 5 of these. These are 16 by 24 inch, and I have a few smaller ones like this kind of crazy pattern thing, or no pattern thing. These are about like 12 by 13 or so. So I got a bunch of these as well. And then I have a 16 by 20, I think. That's what this one is here. And on these ones, I went with a 2-inch thick cutting board because I want these ones to be pretty massive. Like really massive. So got a bunch of those I'm working on. The shop looks a lot cleaner. I have a little more room to walk, move around, and it's nice. One thing I wanted to share, a lot of people ask me how much glue I go through to make all of these things. And to make all of these, let me back this up. So to make all of those, and then the one on my bench here, this was full when I started, and now I'm around here. So maybe 3/4 of a gallon of glue in these. So, you know, it's a fair amount of glue, that's for sure. So that's what I have going on in the shop this week. Let's get into some viewer projects. First up is a ladle by Max, and Max did a really funny video about making this ladle on his YouTube channel. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to give it away, but it's pretty entertaining. Definitely check out his channel in the video. Max has some pretty sweet milling videos as well. Next up is a Poplar Slab Foyer table, or Foyer table, depending on where you're from, by Bob. I got to meet Bob when I was down in Atlanta, and I got to see this table in person, and it is really cool. The table is made entirely of poplar, and it's milled from trees that were cut down on his fiance's property. The top is about 4 inches thick, and the legs on the base splay out at 7 degrees in both directions. Really awesome table. The poplar in here is just beautiful. It has some really awesome color. Next up is a log side table by Scott. He says that he finally finished his project inspired by my router sled video and my dovetail key video. And I really like this thing. The tree this thing came out of must have been really interesting looking. I love that orange color too. It's really unique. Last up are some wooden spoons by Andy. He says he was inspired to carve some spoons finally after watching the video of Lindsay carving a spoon here in my shop. He used the bandsaw to rough out the blank and then used a knife for the rough carving. He also had a hook knife to use as well. He had some Bradford pear scraps left over from some bird feeders that he'd been building, and he used that to carve the spoons. I'm really glad you were able to finally try this, Andy. It was, I'm sure, pretty cool. I still have to do it myself, so I guess my wife and you have me beat there. I have not carved a spoon yet. So I think that's about all I have for this week. Thank you as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about today or anything here in my shop, please feel free to leave me a comment. As always, I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. And until next time, this is woodworking. Happy woodworking. Unlike last time with metalworking. See ya.